Intellectuals, back to Half-Life 2 Episode 1. We're going into the core, finally. In the basement somewhere, apparently, as I mentioned in the description of the previous episode. I'm gonna talk about a bunch of things as usual. Alex is coming along so far and we're getting locked in. There is no place for her to use her sonic screwdriver.
This could be it, Gordon.
To get us through. Direct intervention, yeah, we're shutting things down. Oh, have you seen that? I'm seeing this. Use them as meat shield. Do some bowling. Oh, hey, talking about, yeah. So there we go. Advisors. Advised and left. Doors closed. There was a screen with something on it, I think. There's still no console over there in the sluice. I don't know. Oh, there's a data package.
Looks like they were deliberately trying to blow the reactor. But why?
Just in case we
Oh my god. It looks pretty far gone.
gonna get in to download data they've got.
I hope Dr. Kleiner was right about this.
Right, me too, because the core already melted the beams.
We can find a way through the control room.
Dark matter cores can melt steel beams. Combined beams, actually. Right, we're not going anywhere. We've got a note to go over. And what's down in here? Nothing, I guess. So we can throw guys in. Yeah, we can throw guys in. The disposal area, I guess, that's what it is. What does the commentary note say about this little vista?
This is another key vista, this time showing the core. It's a visual payoff for the player's success in getting here, and simultaneously, a way to present the player with a view of the next challenge.
Yeah, okay. It's a vista. I don't know if you know. Yeah, I've mentioned that talking about things, I think. It's fine if your game design has cool shit to show as a reward for getting somewhere. Like, for winning in gameplay, you get more story. That's why I always say I'm in the game for the story, but it turns out I'm in for the gameplay, and I want to be rewarded with story, that's fine. And just seeing cool shit is cool enough. So yeah, this is pretty cool with the ripple, gentle, and all the patterns of ripples, and how the cold blue interacts with the warm yellow and maybe even red, and also the blackness in the middle. That's very striking image. It looks kind of squeezed. That's fine. I'll give you just a moment. I'm gonna give you a moment to grab your favorite frame from this, because why not? And then we're gonna keep on moving. You might as well make an animated background for your computer with that. I hope that was an entire cycle, but I can't promise that it loops nicely. Oh well. Right. So, we've got all these things. You don't talk yet. We've got this. Just to stand here for a little while and talk about how I've mentioned a thing and I haven't finished it in the previous episode. 4chan has been back. And I mentioned that a guy has a show on YouTube and other social media, video show. And he has guests, and one guest came in and they had a debate, they had a discussion, and a guy was running out of ideas, so he brought up 4chan. It just came to this section. It was brought up. 4chan got brought up. It's like Hitler. Eventually it gets brought up. No, 4chan doesn't usually get brought up. 4chan got brought up, and the guy says, 4chan is down. Did you hear about that? And the host says, yeah, no wonder with the things that they were doing. And I think either he said, or the implication is the racism, the anti-Semitism, and bigotry, and homophobia, and transphobia, all the social phobias. And you know, the discussion, it doesn't sound right, because how he says it, it sounds like he says, yeah, no wonder it's down. It's not that it's down, because it was taken down by the officials for all the hate speech and anti-Semitism and bigotry. That's not what happened. Because for multiple reasons. First off, the current USA government is not aligned with values like supporting the gays and not hating minorities, especially racial ones. So that's one thing. And second, it's not that 4chan was taken down by the government for all these things. No, it was hacked for the lols. And also what they don't know yet, apparently, or just don't know, it's already back up, which I mentioned last time. Right, so that's one thing. Then with the Vista, maybe you could have grabbed another frame, but this time we had HUD and weapons drawn. So let's see what she's gonna be on about.
The elevator's down in the core entry. Let me see if I can call it back to this level.
Is there just a button that we can press? That's how elevators work in real life,
These readings are off the chart.
if you say so.
I hope it's not too late to re-engage the containment field.
Yeah, I'm sure it will just re-engage itself.
You know what you're doing.
Right, yes, totally.
Here's your elevator.
Oh, we're ready to go again.
Gordon, I wish there was something else I could do to help.
Me too, I can give you the suit, again. I mentioned that before. That's a very static idle animation, or just a pose. Right, we've got more of this, slightly, because we decided not to carry the battery anymore. And, commentary note.
Creating a believable, interesting relationship between Gordon and Alex is made a lot tougher by the fact that Gordon never talks. This elevator scene presented a nice little opportunity to have Alex express some emotion in a situation where Gordon isn't really in a position to respond.
Right, as if he ever is. I mean, he can always respond, like behavior or something, but also, you know, it's not to cast shade. I wouldn't imply that, for instance, mute people can't have relationships, but, you know, he might just be very stoic, apparently. Also, she doesn't really look at us. She's not following us with her eyes. It's just expected that we just look at her and just go through, not looking back, because the field of view is small, so we wouldn't have the peripheral vision to see that she's not following us with her eyes, or maybe something's bugged. That's always a possibility. So, we're going down, as tends to, you know, that clip.
Hurry back.
Right. Also, this is the only thing, like an elevator shaft with no guardrails. An elevator shaft with just some weird door keeping us from deadly levels of radiation. This control room is all the way down, all the way up there. I don't really know if, well, probably not. Radiation doesn't just bounce by ricochets like this all the way up in there to infect someone, or like to get the ionizing radiation and all kinds of radiation. Impossible to name with our limited vocabulary, and also exotic particles that haven't been discovered with our science yet. Of course, in reference to the original game. So I don't know if it can reach all the way up there once the doors are open, but also it might not matter, because if our earthly HEV suit that got designed in between when they didn't know that we're gonna face this, or maybe they knew because they were doing research for teleportation, if that clearly this is enough to stop all that radiation and not kill us. Also, we're supposed to be wearing a helmet, which again would be in a way of having Alex really form a relationship, a bond with Gordon when she can't even see his face, so she cannot, you know, because wearing masks is uncanny, or like awkward, uncomfortable. There's a word for this. Anxiety-inducing, something like that, because you can't see the person's face. You don't know what they're emoting, if they're angry or if they're mocking you with their facial expressions. So, and I talked about it in Black Mesa, I think. Gordon should be wearing a helmet. Out of all the armor pieces that you should be wearing a fucking helmet. And we're locked back in. Oh, only slightly though. This part didn't go. Oh, okay. Just spawn it in. So, if only she could do something to help. For instance, not locking us in if things go wrong. And again, she wouldn't probably be able to do anything about it if things will go wrong, because she doesn't have a radiation suit. Well, she can take the hit. I mean, we're important here. Right, what's the note about it?
The core design posed a lot of difficult challenges. Generally speaking, if the gameplay in a particular map isn't working, we can simply cut the entire area. This wasn't true of the core, because we knew it was critical to the story. On top of that, designing Citadel gameplay is often a bigger challenge than working out areas in City 17, largely because Citadel levels have a narrow set of gameplay tools. There are less enemy types available, and the player is usually only armed with the gravity gun.
Because of this,
Usually.
we had to go through many iterations of the core design. One of the earlier prototypes was a kind of futuristic version of Operation, where players had to use the gravity gun to cleanly manipulate rods into slots in the core. That didn't work, partly because playtesters found that their view was obstructed by the rods, which made it frustratingly difficult to manipulate them with any kind of precision. We prototyped, playtested, and abandoned several other designs until we finally arrived at one that was fun, while still being challenging enough to give players the sense that they'd accomplished a significant goal.
And Kirby has down there, I think is onto us. Right, so what I'm trying, well, I'm not trying to, oh shit. I'm not trying to say anything yet, but I'm gonna start talking about it now. There are stalkers here too. One of them, well, at least one of them is gonna try to disable our balls. Oh shit! You can't. That's enough. That's enough of you. I've had it. I've had it with you. Yeah. Well. Bitch. Oh, and we socketed one too. Okay. And there's, oh, there it is. So they're gonna disrupt our balls, but they're here, maintaining the core. And the issue is, it's flooded with radiation, and they're not dying because of it, at least not quickly. So are they often cycled in and out because they are actually getting destroyed by the radiation, or is the transhumanism treatment of them by well, that doesn't align, by combine makes them also immune to this. So it's pretty easy to, it looks like, stop all the radiation damage caused by the core, or they don't really care, or the procedure is such that it could be stopped. The radiation damage could stop the body destruction. However, it requires such modification that you would probably that you lose most of what makes you, like pretty much cognitive function and memory. So it destroys you and turns you into a fucking monster. That's one thing. Second, at least from there, this core is less impressive than I remember. Like, there's a large space here, mostly vertical too, and there's just this one bubble, and that powers the entire City 17 Citadel Tower and its operation, I guess. It's not imposing enough. Also, the node referred to operations, and I don't know if it's a chapter, in this game. I don't know. I don't remember. So I don't know what they mean. I do know what they mean when they talked about the rods obstructing the view, and you don't know where you're putting them or how to manipulate them because they're in the way. So you don't know what you're doing with them. But operations, I don't know. Yeah, it seems less impressive now in 2025 when other things were made bigger and more imposing because our graphics can handle it. So it also might be the technical limitations. In episode 2 we're gonna have a nice scene where it's very flashy and visually busy. Not in a sense that it's illegible, hard to understand what's going on, but it's like more detailed, less empty. Yeah, it feels empty actually after all these years. So of course, flip one single switch and everything is now aligned, and this is the best configuration that we can possibly ask for, because it leads us in here and we don't have to do loop-de-loops. Where we go? Oh, right, to the ladder. So that's what we do. Don't fall into this, that kills you most likely. So the music in here when we entered was pretty cool, and the music in the advisor room is something that I wanted to mention too. And that music, Lost Coast is, well, that music happens in Lost Coast, at least now it does, because they might have switched out assets and so shit's going on. It's a cut content, so it's not official really, and music from episode 1. Maybe it was composed for Lost Coast and then used here, but maybe it was composed for here, and then since that was cut content and they needed some music, they just, also this, like regular ass fucking physical stepping up ladder just to get in here. Not an elevator powered by this fucking monstrosity. No, also, there's a cool thing. Oh, okay. I wanted to show you that the core reacts to you doing things to it. What happens? I don't know. Is it worse when I'm doing that? Not in gameplay terms, not on that time scale. It might be making it worse, it might be making it better actually also, but we don't really know. I don't really know. It reacts to it at least, so that's like the consistency that Gaben often talks about, where it's more important that the hole ends up on the wall when you shoot it, rather than it being realistic that there is a hole. You have to it's supposed to be expected, something like that. It's not that you running around needing food and needing to piss from time to time is realistic, so that's good. It's that you need to run about, and the running about needs to be reliable. You can't just get tired so much that there is no indicator of it being tiring, and now you need to start eating food, which there is no hard element for either. As opposed to, I'm talking about that in case of there being an actual survival simulator game where hunger is one of the parts, but shitting isn't still. So the music, right? The area has cool music. In episode 1 where we were in the advisor room, that had cool music. And that had cool music. I want to grab it perpendicularly. Well, that's not... Well, hold on. I can make it better. Okay. Work with me. Oh, shit! Where did you come from? There we go. Now. He can't see me. He can't see me. Yes, he can. Eat shit. And there's more of them too. But now we're sort of safe until they jump down. And now we're even safer because we can reach them easier. Also, we can rip off the fucking consoles off of the wall because we are that powerful of a Jedi. And just block the way, essentially, if we spend long enough on that. But we shouldn't. There's more gameplay to be had. Node here. We're doing things... Oh, there's a charging station. So, we have to flip something. Somewhere. And just standing here is not doing it. There should be a thing that I can operate. No. No. But where? But what? Should be just a switch to flip. Right, so the music, right? Lost Coast is cut, the episode isn't. I don't know which came first. They used that track for the advisor room. And then that track from the advisor room can be heard, I've got that on video for you, for free, can be heard in Lost Coast, in the cathedral. And I guess it suits that place too, but I guess officially also it's for Half-Life 2 episode 1. That's the point of the whole fucking ordeal. Oh right, I need a pellet to just jam it in there. Either I need to run, or I could just shoot it in and hope for it to ricochet. I guess that's too much hassle. Or maybe I should have tried. Well, too late now. We need that. We might need that later. Right, so that entire thing is getting brought in. And now it works. Using the lasers through the glass. Well, the emitter is embedded in the glass, and the emitting parts are on the other. Oh, Hux. Well, okay, guy. Oh. He got. And also they're now charged with the confiscation zone energy. Where did you come from? Are they then coming? Yes, I'm gonna say yes. Right, so there's a node here. We've got this vista where this thing is going on.
The difference between skill levels isn't just a matter of damage dealt and received. For instance, in easy mode, we increase the length of time a combine ball survives before exploding, putting less pressure on the player to get the ball into a socket.
Ah, yes. Well, that's a commentary worthy of putting right here, since there's nothing going on apparently. But, that's somewhat relevant considering that we have to move in here. Right. Also, don't jump into the laser, because it will kill you too, probably. I mean, does that look like safe to you? And also, the area is already bathed in radiation that would kill you without the HV suit, so... Why would we start caring whether an organic being is gonna get in the line of this going on? now. Right, so to close off, I'm just gonna mention Pokemon, because I'm sure you're dying to know things about that. Things are going on. There's actually a new expansion now, finally. Not that I really asked for it. There's more trainer decks, including rockets, which means that I'm not done playing the most meta deck, Dragapult. So there's a new set of decks that I would have to face, because no one's gonna play the other decks. Oh, well, unless the rank is still dominated by the usual decks, as opposed to the newest decks, because they turned out to be more meta than anything else. So I might face the new decks, but I'm also playing other decks. What I really want to say is that I want to think about making decks and proving that I know the game enough to come up with something that works enough. And so recently I came up with a deck idea for Charizard, because it's a cool card, it's a cool concept, it can hit hard, and it's fun. And since meta changed and some cards are gone, you can't play it as you used to. However, I wanted to try something. I wanted to still make it somewhat competitive, so I took inspiration from the Archaludon deck, where they play poison with Archaludon, making the enemy get poisoned, amass damage like that, maybe get knocked out with poison so that the enemy can't use Phasantipity. If you know, use a card to draw more card, essentially, because it happens in between turns, not like that, so that denies them more draw. And since Archaludon doesn't hit that hard, a little bit of extra damage can help. Also, they probably play something to move damage off of you. So I got inspired by that and used poison in my Charizard deck, and it wasn't working that well, actually, as opposed to my Lake Trio and Kofagrigas deck, which was pretty fun and was working very well. That poison with Charizard wasn't that effective and reliable. Unfortunately, there's a lot of cards to put in that deck to make it really work, and I guess that was too many cards to work with, making it unreliable. But what's important is that deck worked better for me than the deck that guy advertised as scoring 4th place on a regional tournament. So I made a better deck than his, because his deck did not work for me. I don't know how he scored 4th place. Man. Right, and I had an idea for another deck, fire deck this time. Seemed pretty obvious. Some guys are already on it, came up with the same idea essentially, but I want to swap a few things out. I had an idea to use Blaziken, because that helps with more energy acceleration, so that might be an option. I'll put it together, I'll try it out and report back. I'm sure you want to hear all about it. So, commentary note, going through this, and then we'll be done for today.
The ball tubes are an example of us working within our available toolkit to create a puzzle around a recognized concept. As a physical navigation puzzle, it's different from what the player has experienced before, and it's challenging while not being a binary succeed or fail situation. There are a number of ways to approach this puzzle. In addition to simply dodging, jumping, or ducking the balls, the player can grab or deflect them with his gravity gun, or pick up the hatch and use it as a shield to block the incoming barrage.
And that's what I'm planning on doing, because that's less damage to me. There's a thing with that I want to mention, but I just can't seem to recall what I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I know, now I remember. So jumping, crowd jumping through here, this and that. We can just technically avoid it, because they're also was it not broadcasting? Foreshadowing? What's the word? Telegraphing was gonna happen. That's up. I played Black Mesa remake of Half-Life 1 in Half-Life 2 engine, in Source engine, Source 2, whatever, remake of Half-Life 1, Black Mesa, and I complained how the jump is shitty, how it doesn't let you clear things. And since I played the original Half-Life 2, and also these. Now I'm playing the episode, I see that Gordon's jump is not really that high either. However, there is a mechanic here that allows you to like climb ledges. It's not that he reaches for them or anything, but when you're near an edge, they either give you a boost to actually clear it, even when it comes to more like the chest, the crates around the world. Like for instance here, right? I'm clearly lower than up over there, and I still am able to climb it, even though the jump is only this high. There is a mechanic for that in Half-Life, or Half-Life 2 series, but they did not take it into consideration for Half-Life 1. And like I mentioned, they decided it's fun to have crouch jump. Only it's not fun to always need crouch jump, as if that's the basic of interaction with the world. It's actually shit. If every jump is a crouch jump, you can just make an actual jump work the right way. Man, there's a lot of them. Oh! No, be gone! Nice. Double kill off of the ricochet. We got that on video. I do. Right. Out of the oven, like fucking bursting out. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Are they done? We took down the barrier, and we've got a commentary node right off the rip for the next episode. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully we will see each other in something. I play for you for free. In the meantime, of course, interact with this video and every other video on my channel, preferably by watching and sharing it with your friends. Check out the RGB rave around the like and subscribe button. And if you don't like the content, it's entirely your fault.